I see the Jets name and I can't take them seriously because in all of sports, in all of professional sports, they haven't made the playoffs in the longest amount of time.
Greetings and salutation, and welcome to the Coaches Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Keith Adams. Player heard all week. Have end of school year teacher voice. On today's Top Shelf Tuesday edition, a lot of off-season quarterback news. We're going to talk about dealing with distractions and sneaky win total predictions for this upcoming season. So let's just jump right into it. We're going to talk New York Jets first, undervalued and underappreciated. They have Justin Fields on a very good team-friendly 2-year deal. With us today, Mike King, favorite team leader. Mike, Justin Fields, New York Jets. Does this have a chance to work?
A chance? Yeah, sure. Anything has a chance, but like he's on his third team. The last team doesn't have a quarterback. They didn't want him. Like they're starting Mason Rudolph. They didn't even draft a guy. They were like, we'd rather just have nothing than you. And that's a winning organization. That's an organization that I can't even remember the last time that they didn't have a winning record. And they were like, nah, we're good. Even if Fields has a good year, because Aaron Rodgers put up good numbers last year, they still wear that uniform that says Jets on it. It's green and white. And it's the NBA equivalent of the Clippers, or the NFL equivalent of the Clippers for the NBA. Everyone was taught, the Clippers are a sneaky team this year. Yeah. And then they got to the playoffs and they remembered they were the Clippers. And they did Clipper things, which is lose. So I see the Jets name and I can't take them seriously because in all of sports, in all of professional sports, they haven't made the playoffs in the longest amount of time. And that includes the NBA, that includes baseball, that includes hockey. The Jets have not made the playoffs since, Rex Ryan in like 2010 or something? Like, everyone makes the playoffs. They just keep expanding it. It's harder to not make the playoffs than make the playoffs. So Fields could be great there because, again, look at Aaron Rodgers' numbers. Fields has never had numbers like that. And the Jets were terrible. So I'm gonna sell.
So I'm going to go with my teacher of the month every month. Mike Connors is here. Mike, this kid has had nobody believe in him. You're a teacher's teacher. And when a student has a teacher who believes in him, amazing things can happen. We have seen it. You're also a New Yorker. That green and white does have a little mystique to it, if you will. What are you thinking about Justin Fields and the Jets? Did I convince you that this could work?
Justin Fields can work. Let's take a little walk down history here. Where did he start out his college career? University of Georgia. Historically powerful football program. Where did he go from there? The Ohio State University. Just won a national championship, been in the hunt every year for the last 20 so years. So Fields was set up to fail. Let's just put it the way that it is, okay? He was drafted by a team that was a hot mess. Okay. He signs a 2-year deal for $40 million with the Jets. In NFL numbers now, as sad as it is, that's nothing. So the Jets aren't really taking a flyer on him. Okay. They're getting him for a discount price. Just remember, Jones and the Giants got $40 million from the Giants last year for 1 year. So that's not a lot for a quarterback, okay? He's got a young, progressive offensive coordinator in Tanner Ingstead, 42 years old, passing coordinator for the Detroit Lions last year. Can't say enough good things about Fields in the press. Says he's a phenomenal brain. He has an underrated arm. They want to make him an all-around quarterback, not just a runner, okay? So that's good news. I mean, Chicago drafted him the last year of Matt Nagy's contract, set up to fail. We discussed that earlier in the year. Should they even have taken him or just fired Nagy then and brought in another coach then? Okay. He was brought to Pittsburgh with Russell Wilson. He was supposed to be the backup. Wilson pulled a calf muscle in the last game of preseason, so Fields was forced into the starting role. Did okay. Is he the best quarterback ever? No, but a third, fourth-year player under his fourth offensive coordinator, that's going to be problems. The kid has physical potential. He has the brains to be a quarterback in the NFL. All he needs is some stability. That being said, if you use the term stability in the Jets in the same sentence right now, you are asking for trouble. Okay. The mystique of green and white is not big in New York, as everyone knows. Okay. Their last playoff appearance was 2011, Mr. King. And that was when they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC Championship game. So there's not a lot of history over the last 15, 16 years to say that things are going to change. But new head coach, hopefully the Ambassador Johnson gets shipped overseas again, and he can't interfere too much to try to make other moves to motivate the room that just deflates everything. So can Justin Fields work? Yes. Do I think he can work? I have mild hope that it can with a new regime. And this is probably the 32nd time in my life I've thought, oh, it's a new season. Maybe the Jets can turn it around. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Connors, I'm going to stay with you. Las Vegas Raiders. Geno Smith has already made a strong impression. You already have Pete Carroll there. Chip Kelly is the offense coordinator, so he's not in the way as head coach. Is this the move to make? Are the Raiders to be taken serious? What do say you, sir?
I say yes. The Raiders are a great storied franchise. Some of that story is for the wrong reasons, but let's focus on the positive here. Pete Carroll is a coaching god. He's won at every level. Now, maybe some of the tactics he used were questionable at some of those levels, like at USC, but we're not going to go there for right now. And he handpicked Geno Smith to be in Seattle, and he handpicked Geno Smith to come to the Raiders. Geno Smith is no slouch. He's an NFL Comeback Player of the Year in 2022. He's a two-time Pro Bowler. He was the NFL completion percentage leader in 2022. He knows how to play football. You don't be in the league this long and play for 4 or 5 teams that way if you don't know the game. Now let's look at the coach who's going to be working with him specifically. Chip Kelly is an offensive guru. Maybe not the best head coach ever, but we've seen other people like that. Anyone ever hear of Norv Turner? Great coordinator, not a great head coach. So this could be good, okay? Kelly and Smith seem to be working very well in tandem together. They spend a lot of time together. After practices, they're talking about being on the phone late into the night. So they seem to be working well together. And Kelly had recruited Geno Smith very heavily when he was at Oregon to try to get him to come there. So they have a history together. They know each other. If Chip Kelly says, I recruited him back in the day, it shows that Kelly believes in his ability way back then. And then you add 14 years of NFL experience. I think the Raiders made great decisions with these 3 guys across the board. Carroll's a coaching god. Kelly's a guru, and Geno Smith has a ton of potential and athleticism. So the Raiders could be making moves in the right direction.
All right, King, do you buy it? Are you buying the Raiders?
No. And the reason is the quarterback's 34. The wide receivers I've never heard of. Their families might have heard of them, but not because they play football. They just remember them at Thanksgiving. That's about it. Because these are not like Geno. One thing about Seattle, they had offensive pieces pretty much everywhere. Now, Brock Bowers is great. Genty could be great. I just went through drafting a running back and seeing how it didn't make the team any better. Geno took 50 sacks last year. He's 34. Again, he didn't get faster. He got slower. And the NFL, we know most of the teams that make the playoffs again. Most. Some years it's darn near all. And the Raiders were bad last year. I think Geno, it's interesting, but if they go through Geno, they're not going to do well. They need to just give Genty as many carries as they can and hope that the defense is good enough to get them through. But they don't have an easy schedule. Maybe they could be improved. But even then you're looking at a 35-year-old quarterback next year, and you better start finding the future there. So that would be my concern with them. It's a wide receiver league, and their best wide receiver is Jakobi Meyers, who's solid. 4 touchdowns. Again, the best wide receiver on the team at 4 touchdowns. That's not good.
Okay.
With Antonio Pierce as the head coach.
I like Antonio Pierce.
He was a great linebacker.
All right. King, I'm going to stay with you as we close segment 1. Caleb Williams, local guy. A lot of huss and fuss in the news about what he said about Chicago. He didn't lie. It's a pretty bad place for quarterbacks. Is this something or nothing to you, sir?
Yeah, did he say anything that's not true? Chicago, if you look at the history of quarterbacks for that franchise, it's a disaster. Caleb Williams, it's an interesting case because it seems like he got like everyone was criticizing him, and you look at the numbers and you go, if Jaden Daniels didn't exist, you'd look at this as one of the great rookie seasons. 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 3,500 yards, 62% completion. That's fantastic for a rookie quarterback. It just so happened that Jaden Daniels, lit the world on fire. So now everyone wanted to crap on Caleb Williams. But Caleb Williams put together a year that kind of justified being a number 1 pick. He just happened to do it where the number 2 pick was historic, and it made him look worse. But you look at those numbers, those Caleb Williams numbers for a first-year quarterback, and you go, why is anyone crapping on this kid? I would take that. If the Giants had numbers like that the last 5 years, they might have been a playoff team with Daniel Jones had 15 touchdowns, and he got an extension. This guy in his rookie year at 20-6. Like, what are we complaining about with Caleb Williams? I just don't get it.
All right. Connors, is this much to do about nothing, or is it something?
This is, we need a story. Let's run with it. I mean, everyone knows Chicago's never had a great history of quarterbacks. I mean, if you want to guess, I'll give you 50 guesses who their leading passer for a season is, and no one will ever guess it. It was Eric Kramer in 1995 with 3,838 yards.
I was going to go Matt Forte.
Jay Cutler is number 2 through 4 in that list. And Williams in his rookie season was number 5. The last time they won a Super Bowl in 1986, Jim McMahon was the quarterback, and he had the 21st ranked season of their quarterbacks in passing yards. So they are not an offensive juggernaut for the last 116 years that they've been in existence. Williams is a good quarterback. He's 23 years old this season. So as a 22-year-old, he threw for 3,541 yards. That's a quarterback. They have a new coach this year. Again, the Bears drafted a quarterback, and then after the first year got rid of the coach. Same thing as Fields. Anyone see a pattern here? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Okay? Maybe with Mr. Johnson as the head coach, they can do something different, but Caleb Williams was not the problem. And the press just needs a story. There's nothing going on in Chicago. The Cubs stink. The White Sox stink. So what are we going to do? Oh, someone put a book out. Let's help him sell some books. Other journalists will talk about it. So Caleb Williams, not the problem in Chicago.
All right. Cotton Man is here. Our favorite captain's wife.
What up, Cotton?
Out, sir. Caleb Williams, is this a non-story, or what do you think, sir, before we close up this segment?
Non-stories at all. Mike Squared have got it locked in. They already know what it is. When you get sacked 70 times in a season, you can't win. No matter if you're Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, you can't win that much if you're getting sacked. So, and again, he's 23 years old. The kid is good. Now, he caught some called bad breaks. They should have won the Commanders game. If you really run the game, you win that game, that puts you in different situations. And then everything after that game just kind of like went downhill, and they just didn't really, like, they couldn't, recover on that joint. But so I think it's, hype. I think at the end of the day, he's going to lock in at a professional. At the end of the day, you're getting paid. He's understanding it. It's your second year. He wasn't hurt. He make the improvements. So let's go. I should expect he makes another leap in this year. There should be nothing to worry about unless you're like James, who's in.
All right. So fans, when we get back in segment 2, I hate the off season. We'll be right back on the Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Keith Adams, and for years, I've witnessed the struggles student athletes face on how to truly balance the demands of academics and athletics. It's a question that I have dedicated my life to answering. That's why I wrote Finding the Balance, my personal journey to academic and athletic success. It's more than just a book. It is my personal journey, and it is filled with hard-earned lessons from decades as a coach, educator, and now president of the CKA Safe Project. Inside, you will find practical advice, real-life stories, and a clear roadmap to help student athletes, coaches, and parents navigate the complex world of balancing sports and education. And now I am thrilled to bring this message to a wider audience as a proud member of the Cascade Sports Network. We're partnering to amplify these crucial conversations about student athlete success. I believe every student athlete deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential, both on and off the court and the field. You can purchase your copy directly from our website at www.ckasafeproject.org. Join me and the Cascade Sports Network as we work together to help every student athlete succeed. Welcome back to the iCoaches Podcast. And in segment 2, how do you handle distractions? New England, not good. Okay. Stephon Diggs was not present for voluntary organized team activities, and he's actually injured, and he's coming back from, I believe, an ACL. They signed him to a 3-year, $69 million contract in March, and let's just say he's been a little distracted. Mike King, how do you handle this distraction if you're New England?
First, I love Stephon Diggs. I watched every game. I was there watching the games when he had like a linebacker at quarterback because they had 5 quarterbacks get hurt or 6. It was ridiculous. And he still put up numbers because he was absolutely electric. If I was the GM of the Giants, we would have drafted him well before the 5th round because I knew he was going to be good in the NFL. He's a great, great football player, or at least he was. Now he's 31, coming off of an ACL. And you signed him to a 3-year, $69 million contract, even though everyone knows who he is. Like the Vikings, years and years and years ago, they did the thing where they went, like, teams at the social media, they all have their like little
Who would your sister
clip
want to date?
Who would you not let your sister date?
Yeah, who would you want to? Yeah,
every single Viking, except for Stephon Diggs, said Stephon Diggs.
It was even Stephon Diggs was kind of like. Oh, wait a minute.
Come on, me?
Yeah, right.
Every single one. So you knew what you were getting. You signed him off injury. So how do you handle the distraction? You brought the distraction in. This is your fault. So you handle the distraction by not bringing in the distraction. I'm not signing a 31-year-old wide receiver off, almost no matter who it is, off of an ACL. Like, this is when wide receivers start to drop off. When they get to, like, you're in your 30s coming off an ACL, and last year before you got hurt, you were like having your worst year in 5 or 6 years because you don't have Josh Allen anymore. Like, and you still had a good quarterback. The writing was on the wall that he should not be getting this contract. You brought the distraction in. Deal with it.
All right, Cotton Man, I am letting you be in charge of Miami. Tyreek Hill has said he has shifted his mentality as he enters his 4th season with the team after a disappointing 2024. Man, this guy said a lot of stuff to cause you to have meetings. How are you handling the distraction of Tyreek Hill?
They should have traded him long ago. I'd say probably about a year and a half ago. They should at least figured out where we can get him ready to go. Like when Cooper Kupp was getting traded and Devontae Adams getting signed, he should have been traded right in around that time, right before the draft. I mean, at the end of the day, he's not going to get better, and he's proved to you that he's volatile in terms of like, do you want to get better or not? Or like, if you don't feel like playing, you're not gonna play. Get rid of the guy and not worry about it. Now he's in a distraction. Now he's gonna be an expensive issue hanging on to you for the whole season. You know, the only thing that's gonna kind of like be able to like, what they're gonna like say, okay, this is cool, is if he starts balling. If he has like 14 touchdowns, great. If he's catching everything and he's doing his thing, he's burning people 2 years ago, great. If not, he's going to be a distraction. He should be a mid-year trade at some point. Any sort of like inclination of where it's like, oh, I'm upset, I'm making upset, I got a tweet, I got a thing, trade him ASAP. Quick, move on. You may get him not the same value, but you will benefit your team on the long run if you get rid of him right now. So, unless he's not balling, start looking for trade partners.
All right.
How can you? Can I chime in here, Keith?
Go right ahead, sir.
Sometimes an organization just has to cut bait and walk away. Tyreek Hill has great physical qualities. The guy ran a 4.25 40 at the combine. That's what got him as high a pick as he was. This guy has been trouble forever. A domestic assault in college, child abuse, broke a model's leg. I mean, this is not a good person. And sometimes, even if you want to trade him and you can't trade him, sometimes it's just better to cut bait and walk away and take your losses. This could be one of those players. One time things happen, okay, you were in a bad situation, you made a bad choice, figure your life out and get better. I don't care if he says he's going to church, he's going to counseling. This is a repeat offender over and over and over again. This young man needs to get a handle on his life. I mean, let's call it what it is. He needs to get control of himself. And the NFL, the violent game that it is, probably is not where this man needs to be until he gets his life in order.
All right. And Mike, speaking of that,
Connors, I was going to say.
Speaking of life in order,
you've got Baltimore. And John Harbaugh had to talk about a kicker who wasn't there, who they cut. How do you deal with this? Because and this is why I'm going to you, because you are level-headed. Baltimore has a team that can win a Super Bowl. And Justin Tucker has saved their butts a lot of time. So now you've got this kid coming in, and if you're in a tight game, what are you going to do? How are you dealing with the Baltimore situation, sir? Floor is yours.
Yeah, we've talked about this in the past. I think the Baltimore Ravens handled this situation correctly. When Ray Rice had his issue several years back, we talked about how they didn't handle it very well at the time and maybe had some regrets on how they handled it. And that's why they pulled the trigger so fast on Mr. Fields here. So I think they did the right thing. They drafted a kicker. That's not a normal thing. You don't draft kickers every year. So obviously they have some faith in this person. But you know what? There's a lot of opportunities to find someone who can kick the ball. Okay. If you're a professional, when you get called in to go out there and kick the ball, you kick the ball. So I think that for an organization, I think they made the right move. Great player. Made a bad decision in his life, and now you have to live with the consequences of that. We've talked about the 24/7 news coverage. Everybody has a video camera in their pocket, whether it's an Android or an Apple. You can't do things now and not get caught with them. We're educators, most of us here, or we have kids. We see these things all the time. A fight breaks out on the sidewalk. Does anyone go to stop it? No, because I'm going to record this and I'm going to get views. I'm going to get hits. I'm going to get likes. Someone's going to see this. Something goes on in the classroom. A teacher starts losing their mind yelling. Does anyone tell the teacher to come down? No, they start recording it. You can't hide in this world that we live in today. Is it fair? No, because things can be taken out of context or edited. So I don't know if this young man is guilty or if he is not guilty. And he was a great kicker. But you know what? In the world we live in, perception is everything. The perception is that this man was in the wrong. So the organization is making a change. Whether it be fair or not fair, I believe it was the right decision.
Our athletic director is here, George Hocker. George, we've talked about the distraction of Stephon Diggs. We've talked about the distraction of Tyreek Hill, and we talked about the future endeavoring of our favorite place kicker. No, it's not. How do you handle distractions as an athletic director, sir?
Oh man, you can't. They're handled individually because individually it works on the person. I mean, you look at the whole situation with in Baltimore. He's the kicker. I mean, and he came up, he had a bad season. They're going to go in a whole different direction. The whole situation with Stephon Diggs, it's going to be how egregious that situation is. I mean, and then you're going to have to make some decisions on it. So you got to look at each individual case and who's involved, what the circumstances are. It really takes some digging into them to see what's going on. Now, there's some that just pop up like let's go back a few years with the Ray Rice situation. I mean, as soon as that comes up on video, that's a done deal. It's a given. But with each of these other situations that we're just discussing, I heard Mike going off on the whole situation with the kicker. Uh, yeah, man, it's going to be each individual case is going to be their own situation. Now, some punishment's going to go down. Some changes are going to be made, but it's going to be up to each individual situation.
All right, so fans, in segment 3, I've got my strictly for entertainment purposes only team with me. We'll talk about some sneaky win totals and who can have the most wins in the league. Be right back on the iCoaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here, and for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CK Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the iCoaches Podcast in segment 3. All right, first and foremost, Joe Flacco, my man, 39 years old, was asked a loaded question. And that loaded question was, are you going to be a mentor to the quarterbacks coming in? And if you say you are, you're not trying to play. And if you say you're not, you're mean and you're a jerk and you're not a good teammate. And Joe Flacco told them where to go and how to get there. Joe Flacco, the whole Cleveland situation is a mess. Who's quarterbacking in Cleveland? What would you do if you were in charge?
Man, look, I'll start the year with Flacco on some respect stuff. You know what I'm saying? You've done what you've done. Shador needs to be the quarterback by week 4 or whatever the bye week is. They need to be. I guarantee you. What are we doing? What are we waiting for? Like, what are we waiting for? You drafted 2 rookies in the same draft for no reason. You didn't have to. You have $1 million quarterback that you can't afford. You got an old dude that can't afford nothing. You got a dude with hands are so little, can't even hold a bowl of soup. Why you got that guy? So why do you what are you doing? Play the best athlete, Shador Sanders. At the end of the day, he's the best quarterback you got. Is he the best quarterback that's going to get wins? Maybe not, but he's the best quarterback you got. Go with him. Why are we even playing games? Joe Flacco, great. Trust me, he has a great resume. It is what it is, but he is not going to be he's not going to be the answer moving forward. You've already paid Shador. You already know that he's worth it. Play the man. Pay him. Let's see what we got. And it's really, if he's not, he was what, a 6th or 5th round pick. You lose nothing. Play the man. I don't even know. Flacco will get it. Okay, a little respect. But other than that, Shador, let's go.
All right, Mike King, if you're Cleveland, What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
I'm not picking any quarterback, and same thing with the Giants with a rookie and two other guys. Whoever deserves it should get the job. So you go to training camp, and whoever's your best quarterback's the guy that you start. I don't like we're gonna go with blank, and it's June, and none of those guys. You look at the names, none of those guys. You go, oh, that's QB1. So then it's an open competition. Who deserves it? Could be Shador, could be Gabriel. I don't mind drafting two quarterbacks because I saw what happened in Washington when RG3 seemed like the can't miss, and by year two, the robber without a mask proved that it was a good decision. He actually did good for him. He's had a career. So drafting two quarterbacks can work. But I don't like the idea of just giving someone a job when your quarterback room's as bad as that. And I would say the same thing to the Giants. I'd say the same thing to the Titans.
They gave him a contract. It's not
they
like
every rookie gets a
money.
Contract.
They give money before Gabriel. They gave him millions of dollars. They were like, look, here's some bread. Have you ever
heard
of
isn't there a slot? There's a slot. You get like a fifth round pick money.
No, because not every because the fifth round, they're not even fifth round picks aren't even guaranteed contracts.
But they paid Shador.
Yeah, they already paid him. So it's not like it's not like they're getting rid of him. The contract right there lets you know that he's staying around. So
so's Gabriel, and so is
I don't know. I don't know if Gabriel. I don't know if Gabriel is. I don't know. And it's like I don't know if that other dude they got is.
Speaking little hands. Come on, get out of here.
Speaking of little hands,
he got a whole suit with
Mike Connors.
Wow.
I need to take you to the adult table and talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow.
I wanted to talk about Deshaun Watson and taking all the other quarterbacks out.
No,
maybe they go get a little rub. No, okay.
No. Mike, without any massage parlors around, you don't have to worry about Deshaun. You don't have to worry.
Franchise and I have lost episode or two because we went too far with the Deshaun Watson stuff. So I'm going to run. If you're Pittsburgh Connors, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Tell me, please.
I have no idea what Pittsburgh is doing. Mike King mentioned this before. The last time Pittsburgh had a losing record was in 2003 with Bill Cowher as the coach. They went 6-10. So we're talking 23 years ago. So this is a storied franchise. I mean, Mike Tomlin, coaching legend, God, arguably one of the best, if not the best to ever coach the game. I have no idea what they're doing. If they're waiting on Aaron Rodgers, I've lost all respect for the organization. Was he a great quarterback? Yes. Is he a head case? Yes. I mean, he missed OTAs last year to go to Egypt. He was just talking about it on Joe Rogan, exploring the pyramids instead of working with his team, coming off an Achilles injury. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is not the answer. We talked about the green and white mystique of the Jets. That's the Jets' mystique. And if Steelers want to take that on, the storied franchise that they are, they're a train wreck. Now, that being said, I have no idea what the hell Mason Rudolph is going to do within an organization as the starting quarterback. The last time he was a starter, I believe, was 2017 in middle school. So I don't know what this guy is going to do, what this organization is going to do. Maybe they're tanking because next class is supposed to be quarterback heaven. I have no idea what the hell the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing.
All right, Mr. Hockert, I'll use, because I don't have permission, but what's Cheese thinking about in terms of Pittsburgh and their quarterback situation?
Well, I know what he better not be thinking about, because you better not even think about bringing Aaron Rodgers in. That's a mistake right there. And so there better not be. And but before I continue with Pittsburgh, go back to your comment with Cleveland. Could anybody handle a presser any worse than Joe Flacco did when answering that question? I mean, just take a match and some lighter fluid into the quarterback room and let the thing ablaze right then and there. But anyway, I don't know what they're doing. I'm with Connor. They can't bring Aaron Rodgers in. They just can't. There's no way. It's not going to work. You're talking about a white version of AB going off in that whole situation because he might not make it through the whole entire year. So I don't know what in the world is going to happen, but And I don't know who they got under center.
Mason
Which
Rudolph.
call was which call was quarterbacking? He got in trouble for using racial slurs on the field. So
When you hit that hard, by brother, I feel you.
yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
All right,
oh.
you hit it back with that hard. I'm like, oh Jesus, brother.
His helmet did come on. His helmet did come on. So I don't know what direction. Maybe Mike Thomas taking snaps. Who knows? I have no clue. None
All
whatsoever.
right. So, fans, as I'm getting out of this, as we close, DraftKings just released the odds to have the most wins in the NFL this year. Their best bet are the 49ers at plus 1,300 to have the
Hell
most
no.
wins. The mid-range value is the Chargers at plus 2,500. The top sleeper is the Bears at plus 6,000.
Hell
And the
no.
long shot are the Falcons at plus 8,000. Mike King, looking in the mirror, in the crystal ball, who do you predict will have the most wins this season in the NFL? And yes, you could pick 2 or 3. It's between whatever. What are you thinking, sir?
I mean, if I want, the Bills and Ravens are the favorites, and it's because the Ravens get free wins with the Browns and Steelers, and the Bills get free wins with the Jets and Patriots and possibly Dolphins. So if you want to make money, you go Bills and Ravens because that's your best chance. But if you want the value, it's the Detroit Lions at plus 1,800 because they were the best team in football till they got all the injuries. Hutchinson's coming back. He was the best defensive player in the league before he got hurt, statistically. His PFF 90 something, like he was insane. He got hurt. They were still winning, but then like the injuries piled up and they end up losing to Washington. Plus 1,800, and I get Detroit. That's if I was betting, that's what I would do. If I actually wanted to win, I would take the small Bills or Ravens. Probably Ravens at plus 500 because it's a little better than the Bills 350, and they both get to beat a bunch of bums in their division.
All right. Connors, your prediction, sir. Who gets the most wins this year?
It's sure as hell not the 49ers. They won 6 games last year. They're not going to win 14 games this season, especially with Brock Purdy now being so rich. He's going to blow up like a deer tick and not be able to throw the ball or run more than 4 yards. I'm thinking it's the Ravens' year. I know it's not the money bet. It's not going to be the big money. We talked about them last year. This could be the all-in year for them as the Ravens. Harbaugh got a new deal. Lamar Jackson feels like he's got something to prove. They'd be my first pick. And again, it's not sexy, but like Mike said, the Bills have something to prove this year. And the long shot again. The only thing that scares me about the Detroit pick is losing both coordinators. So that makes me worry a little bit. But I think they're going to be a contender for the title. I don't know if they'll have the most wins in the regular season, though.
All right. Cotton Man, what are you thinking?
Man, off value. Now again, I don't care if these teams are, but value. Looking at the schedule, the Raiders have a good chance of beating 7 wins for the season. They have a
yes, but this is for
games.
the most wins in the season.
You have
not over under.
Not over
under.
They're going over. They're going over. I think they can go over. I think they have the Titans, the Jaguars. They can beat the Broncos, the Browns, the Cowboys. The Broncos again. You know what I'm saying? You're playing teams. They're playing teams that they can win and get 7 games, and they won 4 last year with a bum or roster, with a way worse schedule. They could easily win 7 games. I don't know if they're going to win the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to be even relevant. They can get
George.
Cotton, I got a question for you. You say they can get 7 wins. Who's quarterbacking?
Geno Smith. Geno Smith will get you 7 wins. He can't. Okay. He can't. Right, he can't. I'm just asking. Yes or no?
Hold on to that. Hold on to that wish stone.
I think bro, he got 10 wins in the Seahawks with nobody help, with no help.
That running game in Seattle. Their running game and defense were legit.
They're playing the Titans. They're playing the Cardinals. They're playing the.
They had 3 wide receivers.
Jaguars, the Cowboys, the
3 wide receivers.
They're beating teams they're playing teams that they can play, and the tough ones are at home. They can win 7 games.
All right, George. What's your pick? Most wins on the season? What are you thinking?
I mean, you can pick those. You can pick the Bills. You can pick the Ravens, and I like them both. I mean, if I got to pick one, I got to go with Philly. I got to go with Philly. And my sleeper here, and I know everybody is, doing their thing and getting new contracts and bringing in coordinators, whatever. But last time we saw the King lose in the Super Bowl, he came back with a vengeance. So you might be worried about him right now going into next season. You might be, because Andy Reid makes adjustments like days of the week. So you might be worried about him coming in next year.
Yeah, let me see. What is Kansas City plus
11 and a half.
what? No. The for having the most
Plus
wins.
900.
Well,
Plus
you know
900.
what? George might make us a little bit of money there.
Good point.
This has been fun. So on behalf of my cavalcade of stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. And we'll see you on the sidelines. Also seen on the Cascade Sports Network. Until next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org.